Yeah, but the problem is it wasn't done. They found no proof. Yet they kept looking and expanding. They kept adding and invading. And they were told by staffers, some of whom are at high levels and still there, so we're going to hear from them, Mike, who told Barr and others,
I'm sure we will.
There is nothing here. We are uncomfortable continuing this. And they were told to continue. And that Barr eventually had to go tell.
That's not what the.
Yes, sir. That's what the reporting says. But
that's not what the reporting says. No,
it is what the reporting says.
I don't read it the same way, but go ahead.
How do you read it, Mike?
I read it as they having been told to basically make sure that leak cases get pursued, which I did unsuccessfully and would have done in Bill Barr's place had I been there.
Yeah, you would have done them, but you wouldn't have done them like this, I would think, seeing how you're someone I respect and lean on as a mentor, that you would have said, show us where the proof is of where the leaks may have come from, and let's go from there. Here, they never had any proof on any of these guys. This was not the. Go ahead.
I don't know what proof they had. I don't know what reason they had to believe that information was coming from them or from people on their staffs. Nor do you. Nor did the reporters who wrote the story in the New York Times.
That is true. These were grand jury subpoenas. I actually said that up at the top. They had to have something to get the subpoena, but we both know that this is a very easily manipulated bar for any good prosecutor, and this isn't even like an indictment. This is a different standard. And I'm not saying they didn't have anything, but I'm saying that
prosecutors.
Mike, why am I asking?
Mike,
here, let me just make it clear why I'm chasing on this. I'm not bad-mouthing prosecutors, okay? They'll be able to speak for themselves. What I'm saying is
you're bad-mouthing Bill Barr. I understand you're not bad-mouthing prosecutors.
I am, and here's why. I can't believe he doesn't recall anything like this. It is beyond reasonableness that he would remember nothing about only things that are politically damaging. I can't remember Trump ever asking me about going after anyone personally. We both know how that man dialogues. We both know what he was trying to do here. Here's why I care. Co-equal branch of government.
Yes, and we also both know that he pushed back repeatedly on Trump, that he said there was no reason to doubt the election, that he refused to indict Jim Comey, that he refused to pursue a case against McCabe, that he refused to do any number of things.
He is the only man to give Jim Comey second place to abusing the platform. When he took to microphone and completely dissembled the reality of the Mueller report, Mike, and he did it out of political convenience, he took a step that no attorney general ever had taken or should take. So I do not see him as Captain Candor.
That is absurd.
You know what he did with that memo. You know that he shorthanded it and tried to make it seem like it wasn't what it was.
Absolutely not. He stated the conclusions in the memo, including the part about not being able to exonerate the president, which is a standard that's unknown to the law, as you know. But nonetheless, he stated it. He also checked with Mueller to see whether there was a problem with what he had done.
And Mueller complained about what was happening. And what was he supposed to do? He wasn't in control. He was working for Barr.
No, he was working for you and me.
Come on. You know who was on top of him, and that's why he came out and did it that way. Look, all I'm saying is, Mike, this is about a co-equal branch of government. This is about going after the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee because Trump didn't like him, and going after the guy's family, going after minors, and never finding anything, closing the case, and then being told to restart it. This doesn't look bad to you, Mike?
Chris, prosecutors have subpoenaed the records of the families of people they're looking at to find out whether whether the family's accounts are being used.
True, I agree.
You'll remember that a congressman from New York who had a little sex scandal was using his wife's computer.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, absolutely. I remember the Wiener thing very well. What I'm talking about is the House Intel guy.
Okay.
They found nothing, and they kept expanding and invading. And look, at a minimum, you got to see what the inspector general says, but we got to have these people who are in charge of it. We got lucky here that they're still at the DOJ, which means they can't opt out of cooperation that well as long as there's nothing criminal that's brought up, which I don't see happening at this point. But would you agree with me at least that this is something that has to be unearthed and revealed because it may be one of the biggest abuses of power we've seen.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to take a good long look. And I also believe that we will find that an investigation was pursued to a dry hole, as many investigations are. But the notion that somehow they were trying to intimidate a member of Congress is ridiculous.
No, I didn't.
You
I
don't
never said that.
intimidate somebody by keeping an investigation secret.
I never said it. I never said it.
Others have.
Not me. Deal with one dope at a time, Mike. Deal with the dope in front of you. I've never said anything like that. But I will end on this.
Okay.
The predicate for this is that, hey, this was national security. And as you said, that's very important. But here's the problem. The risk of contacts with the Russians. Where's the risk of contacts with Russians that never happened? And where is the risk of a national security threat with dialogues that you had being declassified during the period of assessment and probing and investigating? You're declassifying the same information that you say is the risk.
It was declassified. It was declassified after the fact. What it confirmed was something the Russians probably already knew, which was that the government had a wire on Kislyak. Having them knowing it and having it confirmed are two very different things.
There are, but I would argue the timing.
That was what was confirmed, and it was confirmed.
I would argue the timing. This happened in 2020
afterwards,
when they were still looking at it and Barr was going to reopen it. That's when the intel guy declassified it and caused a little bit of a problem for the continuation of this. I'm just saying it doesn't look bad. It doesn't smell bad. It is bad. This is one of those situations where if there were a good explanation, Bill Barr would have it.
So you've already reached the conclusion of the investigation that you say has to go on?
No, not at all. I'm saying that
you've
the
already
idea.
Reached the verdict. It
No,
is
sir.
bad. That's what you just said.
Listen,
that's what you just said.
Here's my take on it. Let me give you the context of what I'm saying. This is not a trial.
I got your take on it in your opening.
This is not, and it's a smart one. And you would give the same one if he wasn't your buddy, Mike. I understand why you believe in Bill Barr.
He's not my. Understand something. He's not my buddy. I've never been in his house. He's never been in my house. I admire his public career. I admired it before. I still do.
All right, I'll give you that clarification. You've never been in each other's houses.
He did things.
You were flattering.
He did things.
He did things. What? Last word to you, sir.
I was accurate. Pardon?
Last word to you, sir.
I was accurate in my description of him. When Trump wanted things done, if he thought the law required it, he did it, even though people attacked him for doing Trump's bidding. When Trump wanted things done that he thought should not be done, he didn't do them.
Well, this will be the ultimate testament to that proposition. What he did here and didn't do and why. And former AG Mike Mukasey, I don't think I'd ever be talking to you about doing anything like this. And it's one of the reasons I need you on this show. I respect where you're coming from and why. I wish you well, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Happy to. I wish you well, too. Thank you.
Take care. He doesn't like me, but he knows I love him. Look, you have to argue through any political reckoning on this. It looks bad. Where's the presumption of innocence? This isn't a trial. This isn't a trial, okay? In light of these facts, the burden is on Bill Barr and the people who did this to tell us how the New York Times and CNN and common sense has this wrong.